Hello everyone and welcome to Veterans in Crisis podcast. Today we have Sophie Ashcroft. Sophie is Head of Marketing and Communications at the Foundation of Light. And we have some exciting news that we're all going to share with you today. Hi Sophie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Thank you for agreeing to come on.
No problem.
And we want to sort of tell people about our new venture, which is called Sunderland Together.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So Sunderland Together is it's been led by the Red and White Army and the Sunderland Branch Liaison Council, two of our main kind of football supporters groups, and the club. And what they are doing is they've got together to back four Sunderland-based charities. Of which obviously Veterans in Crisis is one, Foundation of Light is another, and they're also backing Washington Mind and the Salvation Army, which are predominantly based in Southwick. And the idea is that between those four charities, we'll be sort of raising money to kind of target sort of main challenges that are coming out of the COVID-19 crisis. So those are predominantly around mental health and poor mental health, social isolation, food poverty, and unemployment. So it's a super exciting campaign, and it's good to be part of it.
It's really good that we're overwhelmed that he asked us to be part of it there, because we work with yourselves. We do stuff with the Salvation Army, Washington Mind as well. So it is really good to be involved. Whose idea was it? Was it yours? Do you want to take the credit for it?
Couldn't possibly say. I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think one of the things that kind of is coming out of all of this is around community spirit, and I suppose one of the fantastic things about Sunderland and the wider area is that there is this massive community spirit, and there, you know, the fans are fantastic. And I had a conversation a few weeks ago with the Red and White Army in terms of what they could do and how they could support, and you know, they've been really supportive of us around holiday hunger. So they've done some fundraising for us in terms of providing money to support kids from vulnerable communities to get meals and activities during the traditional school holidays. But then we also work really closely with the BLC and the Branch Liaison Council in terms of their mental health work with Washington Mind. And it just kind of all came together that we're all doing this fantastic work, and we're all working together, and we work really closely with you guys to provide provision within the beacon. So it kind of just all kind of made sense to kind of bring it all together to kind of do a bit of a fundraising effort.
Yeah, you're right about the community spirit. Like, if it wasn't for the community, Vix wouldn't be anything. To be honest, we rely totally on the community for everything. You know, if we put a request out on Facebook or anything, someone comes and does what we ask for. You know, the majority of the time, everything we get for free as well, which to something as small as like a community interest company, you know, that means everything really, because we wouldn't be able to function if it wasn't for the community. The backing of the people of Sunderland, from the man in the street to the top of the council, you know, it's been brilliant.
It's do you know what, it's such an amazing thing, and it is such an amazing community, and you know, we see it time and time again that, you know, you go out and you maybe do a bucket collection at the bridges or out in the street, and actually you kind of maybe think actually some of the people that are giving maybe don't have much themselves, but actually they still want to support other people, and they still want to look after their own, and it's really touching. It's amazing. And I think, you know, historically the club and the fan base have always been a really we're kind of known as the caring club in a way, in terms of Sunderland Football Club, because the stuff they do is just they just do it really well.
Yeah, I mean, they've done stuff for us, like they let the clients walk around on Remembrance Day around the pitch. They put the logo on the big screen. Had bucket collections. I've had Tom Sloan's here for a podcast. I've had Grant Ledbetter, Kevin Ball. Kevin Ball's our patron, actually. So we, you know, like, I'm a massive football fan, and our office is over the road from the Stadium of Light. So the community, to me, It's everything, you know. And people, the football club's more than just going to watch the match on a Saturday. You know, people talk about football all day, all week, waiting for Saturday, and then we get beat again. But you know, honestly, people will go to work and then you talk about football, and in the pub you talk about football, and to me, it brings everybody together. Like
it does. It's kind of I think somebody's referred to it, isn't it? They've said before that Sunderland doesn't have a cathedral; it has the Stadium of Light, and it is the centerpiece of everything, isn't it? And the club, I don't think anybody working for the club can really underestimate actually how important it is to the community, and you know, we're really lucky to be the sort of the official charity of the club, but it's the fans that make it, and the stuff that the fans do, and I'm sure you probably have it the same as you've said, you know, even just the small things that the fans do for you as a charity is so important. And I think sometimes we maybe don't say thank you enough, and I think we do have to say thank you more. But I think, you know, anybody that's maybe helped back this particular campaign, or, you know, as you said, gives resources to you guys, you know, should be really proud of the work that's being done, and the support that they're giving their community.
Definitely. I mean, we've had support from big businesses like Greg's, the Hilton Hotel outside the foundation. When they had to close, they give us all the food that they had. They shared it out between us and the Salvation Army. So brilliant. And Greg's keep baking us donuts and yum-yums and bringing them 3 times a week. And I've been managing...
Oh, you're looking a bit chunky there, Jerry.
I've managed to deliver them around all NHS places, anywhere the key workers are, as well as giving them to clients, because I think they bring 200 every time. You know, so I've been spending my time going to doctor surgeries and everything, giving them out. And it's brilliant, you know, because they're doing it for free. You know, they're going out the way to drive to Sunderland to give them to us. And we've found now that we've been helped so much by the community, we've started just helping anyone in the community with food parcels. You don't have to be a veteran. You know, that's the way it's turned out now. We thought like it was time for us to give something back. And the community around here, you know, anybody who needs anything, we get bread from Muller's Bakers, we get fresh food, we get stuff all the time. So we're giving food parcels out every day. And it's all because of the community spirit.
It's amazing, and people are just so, and I think that's one of the things that's, you know, if you try and turn a negative into a positive, I think one of the things that's maybe coming out of this whole crisis is the renewed sense of community spirit. And we know that Sunderland has it, and the wider areas have it, but it's just bringing that community together a bit more. So just personally on my street, we maybe only knew 2 or 3 people on our street. We've now got a WhatsApp group going, and people are doing shops for each other, and, you know, we've got a coffee run that's happening once a week with the local coffee shop down the road. And, you know, we did stuff on Sunday for the 2.6 challenge, and, you know, we're planning to do stuff around VE Day on the 8th of May, and obviously all social distances. But I now know a lot more people on my street that maybe I didn't know or didn't interact with before. And I think that's one of the really nice things that's coming out of all of this, is actually we are just as a nation almost going back to basics and starting to appreciate the things that are immediately around us. And look, not everybody can do that, but, you know, it's nice to kind of have that sort of renewed sense of community spirit.
I think it is. I hope when all this is, I'd like to see it back to normal. I don't know if it'll ever be back to normal, but I would hope people remember the kind of lessons, you know, take time for people who live next to you, you know, there's still the community spirit, do things for other people, because, you know, it's very rewarding doing stuff for people. And there is people out there that need help, so.
Definitely, and I think that's part of the reason why the Sunderland Together campaign is hopefully going to shine a spotlight on some of the sort of slightly smaller charities like yourselves, or, you know, Sally Army, or Washington Mind, because actually I think there is stuff that needs to be done immediately now during lockdown. You know, mental health is huge. Social isolation, especially for the older community, is massive at the minute. But you know, as Graham from the Salvation Army said to me the other day, he said, but it's not just about lockdown, it's about the impact moving forward, and it's what's going to happen later on to those, especially around mental health and you know, anybody that's suffering with anxiety or depression, and what does the new world look like whenever we suddenly have to get back on a bus with 20 other people and we're not, you know, we're told not to contact each, you know, all of that kind of stuff. That if you have any form of kind of underlying mental health issue, that's quite a lot to take in. That's a big deal. So I think the kind of message from Sunderland Together is, yes, it's about supporting charities to do the work that they need to do now, but it's actually putting us in a position where we could support the community coming out the other side of it, to make sure that the new normal, whatever that looks like, they are getting the support that they need.
I mean, the social isolation, it was a big problem before they started for veterans. I've suffered from it myself years ago. So that's why I sort of built the Gunners Club coffee morning on a Tuesday. So what we've done now is we have a virtual coffee morning where they do it on Messenger. So all the faces are on and they get to chat that way. You know, that obviously they don't get free Greg's food, but they can have a cuppa. We also set like WhatsApp groups up for them so they can stay in contact. And like our slogan's veterans helping veterans. So the idea is anybody who's close to them, we did like a battle buddy system where you had one person, and if that person contacted you, then that other person will contact another person. You know, and it's just to make sure everyone's all right.
It's so important. It's massively important. And I think what was really interesting about you guys is because obviously I think you've got a group that come in on a Friday morning to the
Yeah,
beacon.
they love it.
Oh, bless them.
Honestly, the way, if we describe for the viewers, so it's two teams. They've named the team each. They keep the same teams every week, and the banter they have all week leading up to that Friday, you know. And then whoever wins loses. They get tortured on social media, and then it's another week of banter before what they do. They've played different kind of football, tennis, all sorts of stuff, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. And is that so? What are you doing with that group now that obviously they can't go into the beacon to run around? And are you obviously still in touch with them, or
we just by phone, they just contact each other, you know, and they through our social media channels, they have a big crack with each other about it, you know. But they're winding each other up about when it gets back to normal, and you know who will win this and who will win that. But they absolutely love it, and this is the whole thing that we like, is to build camaraderie again, like it was in the forces, but also have activities like sporting activities. Because if people are socially isolated, they're staying in, they're not doing any exercise, you know, just that one day's exercise, it's great for them. You know, we have free gym passes for Fitness 2000 for them. We do circuit training 3 times a week, a walking club, a running club, dog walking. We do anything to get people outside, you know.
Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And how's your new facility going?
It's brilliant. The actual facility is brilliant, but we need to make, well, the day it opened, it got put up for sale. We've come to an agreement now to buy it with Springboard, but I need 120,000 quid, which is a little bit more than I've got. So we did a fundraising, a crowdfunding, and we got 15,000, just over 15,000, and that was in 6 weeks. So now we have enough for the deposit, and then we're moving on, looking at getting funding and other things, and hopefully, if the way I want it to work is suitable for Springboard, we should own it in a year. But well, you know, we're keeping it either way. If I've personally got to get a mortgage and be in debt, and that's what's going to happen, so we're keeping it. This is the sort of thing that I've wanted now for probably when I first had the idea of Vic 6 years ago. This is exactly what I wanted. So it's got a podcast on the top floor, a therapy centre on the next floor down, and then an emergency apartment, and then it has the drop-in downstairs with an office. Every floor's got a kitchen, so you know you don't have to move floors if you're having meetings or whatever. So it's exactly what we've always wanted. So I'm not losing it. Even if it means that I'm going to have to use my own money to buy it, I'm buying it.
Well, hopefully, if people dig deep with this campaign and Sunderland Together, then maybe the money that we get raised through this can go to that. It's I think Washington Mind are fundraising for a mobile van.
Yeah.
They want to be able to take their counsellors out into the community, which I think is an amazing idea, because for anybody that's suffering with anxiety and maybe doesn't want to leave the house or whatever, then to have someone come to them is just a phenomenal idea. So hopefully as part of this campaign, then there's two amazing facilities that can make a real difference.
Oh, they will make a huge difference, man, to the community and a whole. Washington Mind and Vix and everyone else who's together in Sunderland Together, I mean, can make a massive difference.
Yeah.
And mental health problems, people suffered in silence for far too long. It's time people start talking about it. It's nothing to be embarrassed about.
No, it's not. And do you know what, this again, talked about Washington Mind and the BLC, and again, this whole idea around collaboration is, again, you've seen some amazing stuff come out of them through the Match Day Mental Health Hub, and providing free counsellors on match day to home or away fans. And anecdotally, we've had reports coming out of that actually that is saving people's lives. There genuinely, people have gone in there in crisis and have been able to access the support that they need, maybe that they possibly wouldn't have gone to their GP or maybe spoken to a family member about, but because it's in a slightly different environment, they've had the confidence to go in and ask for help. And I think that again, I suppose, sound like a broken record, but that's the basis of this Sunderland Together, is that all of the charities are involved are already working really nicely together. We're all working towards the same goal, and it's just about how we can sort of develop that and continue that.
The good thing about it is that things are getting done, but it's getting done differently. So like Washington Mind getting a van, having things in the stadium, before the match and stuff. It's all different from what anybody else is doing. And you're right, people might want to go to the doctors. They might have had that doctor for years and years and years and just don't want to tell them. They don't want to bring things up, I was the same with my doctors. I didn't particularly want to talk about it. I mean, I've never stopped talking about it now I've started. So...
Yeah, and do you know what? And I think that's where through yourselves or through us or through Washington Mind or even through the BLC supporters groups, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who people talk to or who people tell, as long as they tell someone and they talk about it, and they there's a big sense around the football family at the minute that there are points of contact where we can help. And that's the most important thing. It's good.
Brilliant. Can I just ask, what are the vests or whatever that's in the background?
My two vests right here. This is it. Let's like the bookcases that are going on at the minute, where everyone gets this look inside of some people's home. So interesting question. So my background is actually athletics and sport. I've worked in sports comms all the way through my career, and in particular I worked with athletics, and that's actually where I met my husband. So I used to be, so the one on the right, this one here, I used to be the communications manager for British Athletics. So I used to be the press attaché and press officer for the GB Athletics senior team. So this is actually a signed vest from the 2013 Moscow World Championships, signed by all of the athletes. So there's Mo Farah and other names on there that I'm not going to bore you with. And then this one is actually my husband's. So he's a teacher by trade, but he has worked in athletics for a very long time, going to lots and lots of major championships. And he, really interesting story, he's actually been at every single major championships working with the media for pretty much most of Usain Bolt's career. and he's known quite well to Usain. So Richard was out in Rio in 2016, which was obviously Usain's last Olympic Games, and so that is one of the shirts that Usain ran in, and it's been signed by him to my husband, because obviously he then went on to retire at the 2017 World Champs. So that's our very special little sort of athletics commemorative wall.
Seeing as Usain Bolt's your husband's mate, will he sign a Vicks t-shirt?
Sorry?
Will he get him to sign a Vicks t-shirt?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. We don't know.
Yeah, Shy Ben's getting that one.
Retired now. He's retired now, but we do have a sort of bits of commemorative stuff around. So he's literally, I don't know if you've seen, there was Usain Bolt did a documentary. Don't know if you've seen it. That was actually done by, funny enough, it was done by Fulwell. Here's a bit of a behind the scenes. I'm not going to talk about Netflix, but behind the scenes, the first series of the Netflix documentary, it was the same producer that produced the Usain Bolt documentary. It was a guy called David Suter. So I actually knew Suits when he came on to film in the first series, because I knew him through athletics. But yeah, my husband and I watched the Usain Bolt documentary and got quite teary, actually, because we were able to sit there and say, well, Richard was at that major championships, I was at that major championships, and actually predominantly Richard, but between the two of us, we'd been at every single kind of critical moment in Usain's career, which is amazing little story.
It is, huh?
And he's as nice as you see him on television, by the way. He's genuinely that nice.
Right. When I see him, he's just running really fast, so
I know.
I don't get a chance to speak.
But who's your boxer behind you?
Ricky Hatton.
Ah, nice.
Ricky Hatton. We have loads of side stuff. What people have given us, like, so we have loads of different footballers: Jordan Henderson, Jordan Pickford, loads of people from Sunderland. We have you cannot say, but Ben Stokes' cricket jersey from the World Cup, signed by everyone.
Yep.
Ricky Hatton stuff. Ross Kemp, loads of people. So
nice.
that's why I wanted you to get Usain Bolt one. So.
I don't know. I'll have a dig and see what I can find.
I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking. Yeah, I didn't put yourself out. Sorry, hey bother. Right. Thanks very much for speaking to us. Is there anything you want to get across before we finish?
No, just that I think, for everybody that's listening, I think if you are in a position to be able to give a couple of quid to the campaign, then obviously go to the crowdfunding page. I'm sure we can probably get a link from somewhere.
Yeah. If you email it, I'll ask Joe from Tile Image, our media company, to put it on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I think it's just that, and obviously, between yourselves or between us or Washington Mind or whoever, if there are people out there that maybe need support, then we're here for them, and we'll see what we can do.
Excellent. Right. Thank you very much for chatting.
Thank you.
Cheers, Mike. Bye.